So is irrigation an hourly, daily process for you?
Well, yeah, it's not really. I mean, for me, I am responsible for the greenhouses and the hoop houses. For Danny, he's responsible for everything, all the acreage. So it's much more intense job for him than it is for me. But water is something that we think about all the time. I had the very good fortune this year of having excellent germination on my watermelons and cantaloupes. Not something that normally happens. There have been years that I've had to replant 2-3 times watermelon seed. Don't know why it happens. Seed companies are always good about replacing for me. But this year I had really great germination on the watermelons and cantaloupes. So I have a lot. And we put in a lot. I'm sure that Danny will show you. You won't believe how many we already have in the ground.
10, 20,000?
Oh, yeah.
How many?
I'm thinking about 30,000 plants in the ground right now between watermelons and cantaloupes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did see on this variety right here. I know the Crimson Sweets we did 8,000 alone of those. Well, probably even maybe a little bit more than that. But anyways, so Danny made me up a spray here to help him out. He gave me Omega, which is a 666, so it has both. It has everything: nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. He also put some of the Thermax 70, the yucca, in here, so that way it'll help that Omega stick onto the leaf. And Thermax or yucca is also just good for the plants. It'll green them up, just that on its own. And I'm sure that he's mentioned to you before that it is a stress reducer. So because I'm doing a couple of things, I'm holding these plants for maybe a little bit longer before we can get space ready for them. And then I know that he put some neem in the spray because some of the plants in here they're bug lovers. The squash and the pumpkins, and they're sitting in here waiting to be transplanted. So they're attracting a lot of bugs. So I've been meaning to do this. I've been meaning to spray these and feed these watermelon plants. So I'm happy that it's not too warm this afternoon and I'm getting a chance to do it. This is not normally the time of day that we would ever do something like this.
What's the normal time?
First thing in the morning, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning out here.
Why is that?
Because there's a golden rule in agriculture that you never spray your plants, and I don't care what you're spraying on them. I don't care if it's something good or something bad. But if your temperature and your humidity together, those numbers are more than 150, you will kill anything that you spray. It's very, very, very bad for the plant. So if it were warm in the afternoon, it'd be really tough on these plants. So we just try not to do any. For example, when Danny is going to feed out in the field, he'll maybe start. He likes to do it like every Saturday morning normally, and he'll start at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he'll try to get done by like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning.
So
Before it gets hot.
If the temperature and the humidity
together, 150,
you're through.
Don't spray. Don't spray. Even if it's something just really good, like fish fertilizer. It'll really hurt the plants if you do it.
And if you do it through the drip, the same?
No, that's different because that's going through the roots.
But leaf, we're talking about leaf. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's why Danny doesn't, he would not allow me to feed in the greenhouse in the afternoon unless it was, today it's pretty cold outside actually, in my opinion, for June. I want heat now because I got strawberries and I need some warm for them.
You're going to have strawberries for tomorrow for the boxes?
I don't know if everybody's going to get strawberries this week because the strawberries are just starting to produce. Other farmers' strawberries are in, even though we irrigated them every day, every other day. We finally got an inch of rain Thursday night. Now it's Sunday. So, that's going to help out a lot, but now it kind of cooled off. Low 70s are not going to really kick those strawberries along. You know, we're always the people that are never happy with the weather. It would have to, fit our guidelines perfectly for us to be happy. Rain every third night while we're sleeping, and we're picky. But that's just because we want what's best. And it's hard because where you want it to be warm for one thing, that stresses other plants out, So, example, in August, if August is really warm, we struggle to produce lettuce. It's very hard in 90-degree weather to grow lettuce. But that's what the eggplant, the tomatoes, the sweet corn, the melons, they all need that stuff. So it's like, well, what do you want? You want the stuff that really needs the heat in August. We can get back to the greens as soon as it cools off. So sacrifices, choices, whatever you want, however you want to look at it. I think that's why eating in season is so important.
And this is an adventure we're taking with you.
Yes, absolutely. I just said in the welcome letter that I sent out to the CSA members that you'll never look at the weather again, probably. I mean, to some people, the fact that it doesn't rain, it's a perfect summer. To us, that's a horrible summer, So we will help remind people how weather dependent growing food is. But we've also done things that will help us move beyond if the weather does not fully cooperate with us. I mean, we have irrigation, we have the tiling in the event of a too wet year, but I've been on both sides of a good and a bad year. And I gotta tell you, you have to work twice as hard as we normally do in a bad year because you're just trying to save everything. And I've seen both. And
Stressful?
it can be very stressful. And it can start to mess with your mind after a while.